Alright, we're back again with another piece of hardware that we hadn't seen in a while, and that's this old John Deere lawn tractor. A while back I had taken the deck off this thing and resurrected the thing mechanically to turn it into a utility tractor for towing that trailer or just roaming around the grounds to pick up crap or whatever. But in the meantime, this thing sat a while, and well, as any mechanical thing that sits around can attest to, it turns into crap. And because of that, I want to resurrect this thing. But like with any small engine piece of equipment, one of the biggest things you gotta check out is the carburetor. When I tore this old carburetor out, it was crap. So even when I wanted to try to see if I could go through it and get it back going, the seals were rotted out, jet was frozen in there and pretty much stripped. So yeah, this thing was garbage. So $16 later, and Amazon delivers like always with a fresh carburetor. So go ahead and throw that thing on, put another fuel filter on here, since even though I drained the fuel tank, there's still going to be some trash in there that's going to get sucked up into the fuel line when the thing does get started back up again. So let me go ahead and get our carburetor on real quick. Okay, we have our carburetor bolted down, pretty simple thing. Have our intake tube secured. We have our fuel line from the carburetor up to the fuel pump secured. And then we also have a fuel filter in place just as well. There's also the throttle linkage that you have to take into account. Make sure you snap all that garbage back in. So we're all good to go on that. And then there's also the plug that activates the fuel cutoff for the thing. So that's all good to go. And while we're at it, we have a new battery in here, all secured. Wires are ready to rock and roll. Go ahead and check the oil on this thing. Get some petrol in here, and probably some starting fluid, because we're probably going to have to crank this thing a minute to get it to fire up. So stand by. All right, let's see if we can get this pile to fire up. That can's empty. The fuck? Kind of peculiar. I think this thing just needed some fuel in the system so it could actually start huffing and firing. Let's see what happens now. Got the thing on high throttle, and it sounds like the thing is choked. Gonna have to let it run a while. Sounds kind of shitty. we go. Damn throttle was stuck. Bastard. Sounds like she's running strong now. Well, the old John Deere's back in action again. Steering always needs work because the steering's always been hard on this thing. And it doesn't like to idle either. It likes to run full throttle. So let me do that. And I'll just stand back over here. But yeah, the John Deere's back in action. So we'll be able to utilize our trailer and get some little things done around here that require pulling large amounts of crap around. So I'll obviously end up playing around with this thing some more because there's always more odds and ends we could do to this type of stuff. So stay tuned for that. As usual, like, subscribe, TikTok notifications, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you later. We'll see more of this thing. I'm sure of it. I'm out.